Bama listed at number 3. Transfer portals this spring to the football program. We're going to talk about that list and who Alabama brought to the table and why that's important. One guy that's probably not coming, though, is Khalil Jacobs, that linebacker from South Alabama. We're going to talk about that. And we kind of knew that was coming anyway. And then how about that Georgia transfer quarterback that is angry at Florida's coaches for not living up to their NIL promises? And he's suing them. That and Today in History right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Even got Big Sexy Elmo coming up. So like and subscribe. Here's your invitation. Also, hit the bell so you know when something's going on. We got you covered there, too. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's get this party started. What do you say, everybody? It's great to see Big Sexy Elmo in the house. I'm Mick Gillespie, at Broadcaster Mick, at Brett Elmore Show, and we're brought to you today by newlifeart.com. Use the promo code BAMA Tailgate. All right, let's get right into this. Brett, Andy Staples, who works at On3 now, says that Alabama is number 3 in the list of teams as far as the transfer portal. No surprise at all as I pull the list up off of X that Alabama's up there. But can you believe that Ole Miss isn't at the top of the list? It's actually Ohio State. I guess when you spend all that money, you'd be up there. But anyway, that's the list. Here it is on his Twitter. And Bama number 3. Georgia's actually number 2. Can you believe that too?
Ole Miss is 9th?
Yeah, I think they did most of their damage, though, in the first transfer.
Wait a minute. Okay. Now, this is the spring. Okay.
Yeah, right. Just the spring, right?
Okay. I can live with this then. Yeah. Okay, so Bama's 3rd. So not a bad portal season for the Crimson Tide, but a little better for Georgia and Ohio State. But like you say, Ohio State's got all that money.
Yeah, well, let's kind of get into some of the guys that Alabama brought in the spring portal. And it started with Caden Proctor, who was there and then left and then came back. And I felt like that was just a significant, kind of a significant move because we needed him.
Yeah, we needed him. That's probably one of the biggest additions in the spring. Other guys you had in there, Gino Vandermark, I thought was a big commitment at 6'5", 325 from Michigan State to Alabama.
Yeah, big offensive lineman, and it was Oklahoma that thought they were going to get him, but he had the relationship with Coach Cap and came to Tuscaloosa.
Probably one of the guys that you don't really think about, but maybe the biggest addition to the team is Graham Nicholson, the kicker.
I know. And that was something that I was worried about because look, at the truth of the matter is that Alabama really had to have a great kicker last year to get into the college football playoff. And so they got another great kicker. So, yeah, I mean, that's everybody would have taken that guy. He was the best kicker in the country, and we got him.
Yeah, the Groseville Award winner. I thought it was going to go to our kicker. I was mad because he won, but now I'm glad he's on our team. The kicker, everybody knows football. They can win or lose you a ball game, and this guy's pretty much money in the bank. Also in the spring, we got Cam Howard, the safety.
Mm-hmm. And needed guys in the secondary. I mean, we talked about all the players who either bolted for other teams or went into the NFL, but there's no other group on the field that has a total facelift like the secondary.
Yeah, so you fill it with Cam Howard at safety. Then you got 2 other guys, another safety in King Mack, which was a nice get from Penn State. And Deshaun Jones, the corner from Wake Forest.
Yeah, and you know what? They tried to get Greedy Vance. He ended up going to USC. You know, you had there was the other guy that went to Ole Miss that, you know, never even made it to Tuscaloosa. I think Hamilton. So it's like you're trying to figure out who you're going to get in that spot to help the team, and you end up with those guys. And so you had to have help, and you got help. Plus, you got all those 5 stars and, you know, really high 4 stars that are true freshmen. You know, could they jump in and contribute? Can they help out? You know, Alabama could certainly use them as well. So that group, even with the additions in the transfer portal, is still a big question mark to me.
Yeah. And also, like on your feed over there, Mr. T turns 72. That was a big day for us yesterday. I pity the fool. I pity the fool that's Ohio State and Georgia. We're coming after you guys. We're coming after you guys hard and heavy.
Happy birthday, T. Happy
Mr.
birthday,
T.
T. Well, one guy that's not coming is Khalil Jacobs. And you said you had a feeling that he wasn't going to come. I did too. Auburn's gone all in on it. Ole Miss has gone all in on it. You know, he's I think he's still taking visits. This guy's trying to make as much money as he can. He's playing the market. It's actually not a bad idea, because he's going to get paid just because. But at the same time, I don't know. Honestly, he might have been a depth piece, but is he really going to be? You know, I mean, where's he going to?
Yeah.
It's hard to really figure out when you're playing that level of competition. Would I've liked to have had him? Sure. But I just don't know how that translates when you're going up against the best of the best every week. And that's not the case when you're at South Alabama. Sorry.
I was about to say, I mean, no disrespect to South Alabama. I love South Alabama. The school's great. But look, competition, not apples and oranges. But I'm telling you, it's a different game. It's a different speed. It's different everything. I don't know. But yeah, we looked in my crystal ball some time ago, and we said, you know, I didn't think Khalil Jacobs not in the fortune cookie. So there you go.
Yeah, I guess that relationship with Womack didn't include enough cash.
Right. It's one of those deals where I love you, man, but not that much.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're not paying. You know, and kind of getting into the whole NIL thing. How about this, man? This is this is something that I got a feeling we're going to see more of if this succeeds, right?
Yes. This is the beginning right here.
Right. And it's like Billy Napier and some of the other coaches there. He didn't get the NIL money that he was promised, and it was like $12 million or something. And
no, nearly 14 million.
Okay, yeah, 14 million, almost 14 million, so even more than 12. And he's suing, and I don't know like what kind of a legal binding contract these things go, because I just don't know enough about it. I mean, do you sign paperwork? I mean, you know, it used to be you would get paid in McDonald's bags.
Yeah, those days are gone.
And I'm sure it wasn't $1 million either. I'm sure it was like, hey man, here's $20,000.
I'm big money. I'm big time.
Yeah.
I'm big time, man. I got 20 G's from these jabronis. Okay, look. Rashada threw for over 5,000 yards and 59 touchdowns at Pittsburgh High School in California, oddly enough. So he agreed to play for Miami, all right, in the fall of 2022. The Hurricanes promised him $9.5 million in an NIL deal. Okay, so Napier and this guy, I think he owns a bunch of car lots. Hathcock's been named in this lawsuit. They lure him away from Miami, promising him $13.85 million. That apparently in the suit says violated NCAA bylaws. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The lawsuit says Napier vouched for the collective and said Rashada would receive $1 million on signing day. That's like
$1 million.
$1 million. But before Rashada could arrive on the Florida campus, contract was terminated. whatever that contract is, suddenly and without warning, 37-page complaint. They say Florida was just Rashada tolerated, quote unquote, tolerated several delays in getting paid before ultimately being left with no faith from the Florida football team.
How about that? Yeah. This is probably why that all of this NIL stuff, which is really pay for play, needs to be regulated, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the Gators have the Gator Collective. Okay, so now this guy's at Georgia. So if he was going to get $13.85 million from Florida, what's he getting at Georgia?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. I mean, it's honestly, it's just a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
But this is the Wild West. It's just who would have ever seen this coming like 3 or 4 years ago, that it's just open season,
Well, that's what his attorney, that's exactly what his attorney said. He said, sadly, this type of fraud is becoming more commonplace in the Wild West that is today's college NIL landscape.
Yeah. And I'm sure they promised him the money.
Yep.
And I'm sure they were like, hey, this guy can't play. He's not as good as we thought. He's not going to make an impact right away. And then, off he went. Right. Or maybe they just couldn't get the money. Maybe they made the promise to get him and never had the money in the first place. Hey, he's going to show up and he's going to love Gainesville. Tom Petty loved it here. Yeah. And then he bolted. I don't know. If this guy successfully sues these coaches and stuff, then think about all the lawsuits we're going to be dealing with.
Oh yeah. This is just the beginning. This is the beginning, Mick, and he's seeking about $10 million in damages. So he'll probably get his NIL money from Georgia, get a little $10 million from the lawsuit. They'll probably settle this thing out of court. Who knows? I mean, and it happens to Florida. Poor Florida. The Gators. I hate Florida.
The thing about Florida is that for a while there, they had Spurrier and then they had Tebow, and they were like good for a long time. And then Alabama beat them in 2009. And I mean, they have just continued to just sink down into mediocrity, Yeah. Somehow they beat Tennessee a lot, but it's
it breaks my heart.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about something that's going to cheer you up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about today in history.
All right. Very good. Today is the 22nd day of May. It's getting away from us, Mick. We're heading toward the Memorial Day weekend. Today's birthday's Bernie Taupin. You know who he is?
Yeah, he's the guy that wrote a lot of the songs performed by Elton John. And I'm sure he wrote Tiny Dancer. And I love that song. I don't know why. I'm one of those guys that sings along. And and then you get older and you think, I know what it's about. It's about I think somebody he dated's daughter was dressed like a ballerina, or maybe his daughter or something. And he wrote the song about her ballet or whatever. But Elton John's great. He's a Sir Elton John.
You got it all wrong. It's Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. That song was written about Tony Danza. Anyway, no, you're right. And he's 74 today.
Yeah.
Naomi Campbell, British supermodel. Remember Naomi?
Yeah.
54 today.
Okay. Still good looking.
Still good.
That's not even that old in this world anymore.
No. That 54 is the new 34.
Yeah, definitely.
Morrissey is 66 today.
Okay. I don't really know much about Morrissey.
Remember the Smiths back in the 80s?
Yeah, but that wasn't my thing.
That new wave type thing.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something to celebrate today is a National Boss Babes Day.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but I'm going to celebrate it anyway.
Okay.
This is something that's right up your alley. So this will give you some freedom today to do. I know you probably got a ball game tonight, but
got all kind of stuff. But I've got time to celebrate.
National Craft Distillery Day.
Oh yeah, dude. Look. During COVID, when everything in my life collapsed, right? Yeah. All the things that I had worked for and out the window, and I didn't have anything else. I started doing the beer review, the Mick beer review, and then it turned into the Mick and Brick beer review with my friend Bricken, and then it just was like it caught fire, man, and people really liked it. I guess because there was nothing else new that was coming on, because but it was just like a little Facebook show, and it got too popular, and we had to shut it down. But it was so much fun. I still have the channel, and I think eventually I'm gonna I'm too busy right now to do beer reviews. But I'm not done with beer reviews. I love craft beer. There's some really great craft beers out there, and there's some other ones that aren't that good. There's a lot of mediocrity in the beer business. Blah, blah, blah. Just like me talking right now. But
tied.
But it's like pizza, man. I mean, bad pizza's good, So
by the way, the Mick beer review sticker is still on the Pie Factory of Jasper tap.
I need to send some of those out to you guys so you can put them in different places. I got some of those left.
Yeah.
Love craft beer though. All the good. There's a lot of good. Actually, the in Alabama, I was a big trim tab guy. As far as the in-state breweries, straight to ale, obviously, Druid City up in Tuscaloosa, love them. Fairhope down here. So, I mean, it's fun, man. Big Beach is one of my favorites. It's down, in Gulf Shores, but there's a bunch of good ones, man.
Yeah.
I'm probably missing somebody. They're going to be like, dude, you didn't mention us. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, sorry, but I'm a Tallulah Brewing Company in Jasper guy.
Okay. I want to try those beers. I've never tried.
I'll have to get you some and bring them. I don't know. It's not over. Well, I may be getting into a whole legal thing, but anyway, today is also
the what? Don't mail them.
I'm gonna mail them to you.
Just kidding.
You get this box full of beer. I'll be in jail. Today is World Goth Day.
Okay.
And today is also National Vanilla Pudding Day.
How many licks does it take to get to?
Let me give you some of this pudding.
Did you remember when they had the Jello gelatin pudding pops? Bill Cosby was the guy.
Yeah.
They were the vanilla chocolate pudding pop was amazing. We didn't really have them at my house, but I ran into them at a couple places.
Yeah.
Loved them, man. Like I could sit there and
Where did you run into them at?
Well, maybe like a friend's house might have had.
Yeah. Why is Mick coming over every day? Well, it's the pudding pops.
Yeah. Somebody's eating all my pudding pops.
Who's eating the pudding pops? Who's eating all of the pudding pops? National Vanilla Pudding Day is today.
All right, look, you and I both have this hankering for Chinese buffet. They always have the pudding in the
Yeah, they always have the pudding, man. I don't know. And the chopped up Little Debbie Swiss cake rolls.
I know.
I'm like, quit with the bullshit. This is a Little Debbie. Y'all were just cutting these things up.
You want to be
just put the whole Little Debbie there, okay? Because I'm gonna get all four of
them. Right, but it's all you can eat, so you can take as many as you want.
What does Brett have? And it's like a huge mound of Little Debbie snack cakes that they have, and topped off with vanilla pudding on the top. It's like my own concoction. Now I'm looking around and I'm like, y'all have any sprinkles? Y'all have any sprinkles? Because some of them have the ice cream too.
I know.
That's when you know you're at the real nice Chinese buffet.
Right. I
that with the crab legs on Friday and Saturday nights. Freaking crab legs, man.
I've seen crawdads, crawfish.
Yeah. It's like crawfish, and you're like, man, this is fancy Chinese.
I just want to be like, all right, who in the hell is eating the crawfish here?
Right, yeah. It's like, man, I'm at a fancy joint. And it's like it's payday. It's payday, kids. Let's go get some crab legs at the Chinese place.
That's me.
You have a mound of those suckers.
I know.
Yeah, they're like, Elmore, you get out.
Get out of here.
You get out of here. You fell asleep in booth last time you were here. You ate so much.
Man, I've been to When I travel, sometimes I'll just be so hungry, I'll just pull off, man. I went to the one in Scottsboro. I went to the one in down here in Daphne. There's one down in like Foley. They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. They're
Yeah.
everywhere.
But
And
there's not many great ones. There's some good ones, but if you find the great one, they have the Mongolian grill. They have the sushi. They have General's chicken. They have the wontons. Do you like egg rolls? I do, but I like pork egg rolls.
Pork egg rolls and the spring rolls. Growing up, I thought those spring rolls were egg rolls, and I was cheated my entire life. My parents would say, "Those are egg rolls." No, when I grew up, it was spring rolls, man.
Yeah,
Egg rolls.
I love the concept though. Like, just get me in, and it's like you don't even sit down. You just like nod. Like, hey, would they ask you what you want to drink? You tell them.
Right. You're right.
And
they
boom,
just
you're out.
Yeah, they just point you to what table you're going to be at, because you're like making a beeline to the rice, because you got to get the rice first on the plate.
No MSG.
So anyway, where were we?
Pudding day. It was pudding.
Oh, pudding day. Yeah,
I took this a totally different direction.
Okay, well, there's more to come.
Okay.
On this day, 1859, author Arthur Conan Doyle is born. He was the guy who created Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, okay. All right.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Two more big things we got to talk about here, and everyone just bear with us here.
Okay.
Don't tune away.
You're still here. Just keep staying here.
This gets better. Trust me.
There's people that jump off once the football talk's over, they're out. But you guys that stayed, we love you, man.
Y'all are the real reason why we're here.
Yeah.
1958, Jerry Lee Lewis announced that he'd married his 13-year-old cousin Myra. The controversy almost killed his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Did he stay married to her forever? Or that would have caused the marriage and the divorce would have just caused so many problems in the family.
Yeah, I mean, they may have divorced, but they saw each other at family reunions all the time.
I love
There's Myra again.
There's people that are watching that will know the answer, and it'll be in the comment section.
Oh yeah, they'll be like, they'll write a paragraph about what's going on with what happened with Jerry Lee and Myra.
I love when you get corrected on here. Well, Brett.
right. But yeah, it's like, Myra's at our family reunion again. Jeez, I divorced her 10 years ago, but she is my cousin.
Yeah, right. Don't have kids.
And let's just forget the fact that she was 13 years old.
No, there's so many bad things in this.
There's just so much bad stuff there. And finally, one of my favorite television characters of all time, one of my favorite television shows of all time. 2001, actor Whitman Mayo passes away at the age of 70. He was Grady on Sanford and Son.
I knew you were going to say Sanford and Son because you and I both love Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
I was saying them. I was like, man, this has got to be a Sanford and Son reference. And for you young people, this show was one of the funniest TV shows ever.
Absolutely one of the best.
It was like Fred was like the Dave Chappelle of his time.
Oh yeah, he was great.
Chappelle show of that era. But instead of it only being 3 seasons, it was on. I think it was on for a lot longer than that because we used to watch it, and there were like 100 shows on there or something. You know, like
I've got the DVD box set.
How many seasons?
God, I forgot how many.
It's got to be like 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah. It was 7 or 8 seasons.
He's absolutely he's hilarious. The IRS ended up taking all of his stuff because he didn't pay his taxes. He blamed his accountant, which could possibly be the truth. He was one of the funniest people ever. You guys want to do yourself a favor. If you like Chappelle, if you like comedy, his old stand-ups are still funny.
Oh yeah. Vulgar as all get out, but I love him.
And Grady was one of his friends that used to come over to his house. He had his wife had died, but her sister would come over all the time and they would get into it for stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times, man, like the thing I liked about it is that it was funny, but it would touch on like a lot of the topics of the day. And it always had the right message to me. Like, it was always like, man, I get that, you know, like in a weird like, obviously Sanford and Son way, but they own the junkyard in California. I mean,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still see those like if I see a junked up like that truck that they would have, I can just hear that song.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was great. And I was trying to think, golly, who's the one that did the Sanford and Son theme song? Um it was a popular musician. Dadgummit. It'll come to me later and somebody will do it in the comments section. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's a great show. But anyway, Grady passed away this day.
Yeah. What year was that?
2000 and go back to my notes. 2001.
You don't
I'd
remember?
say.
You big dummy.
Yeah, 2001. Yeah.
How
You
did you
big
forget that,
dummy.
you big dummy?
You big
All right.
dummy.
All right, Brett, tell everybody about the Brett Elmore Show.
Yep, we're on 6 till 10, Monday through Friday. Mick was on with me yesterday morning. We had a great time.
Got on there, man, doing the thing.
Yeah, we had a great time, and you can get us on all the streaming apps, and love to have you.
Yeah, hang out there. And don't forget, we're also presented by Pearl River Resort, celebrating 30 years. You got Boys to Men, Brian McKnight. You got who else is coming?
Big and Rich.
Big and Rich, Rodney Carrington, all those acts. You got the Timeout Sports Lounge, which is Vegas-style sports book right there in Philadelphia, hour and a half, Tuscaloosa, 2 hours from Birmingham, not far from Jasper. And they got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which is the Augusta you can play. It really is an amazing setup over there. The water park, you got the spa, and you got table games and slots, all of it. And they're great people, man. They've been, part of the show since I started. They're one of the first people to jump on board. The minute that I ended up being a free agent, they were one of the first people to say, "Hey, we want to be part of what you're doing." So I can't tell you how much I appreciate those guys for that as well. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking forward to hanging out.
We're going down to Boys to Men.
And we're gonna be singing along.
I love Boys to Men. It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be fun. All right, you guys can do the same thing. Tickets are still available that weekend after the 4th of July.
Yeah, and let me just leave you with this. There she is, Aunt Esther. I love her. Have a good day, everybody. Roll Tide.